We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
And if you need to go non-organic because you're traveling and you just cannot find anything else, you're in just Podunk, USA, and there's nada, and you've run out of produce, then go in and get the best non-organic produce you can find. Make a game out of it. What's the best stuff that I can extract from this grocery store in Podunk, USA? Then go for it. You shouldn't be more than a day or two from finding the best stuff possible too. So the important thing is to keep that continuity of your juice feast going, because what you're accomplishing on a daily basis far supersedes anything that's going to happen by taking in some non-organic produce for a day.
Great. That was actually one of the other questions. What do you feel about juice feasting if you can't get good access to organic produce? So
yeah, do non-organic.
Great.
The health benefits that you'll get from juice feasting outweigh any amount of pesticide that you'll take in from the non-organic produce.
Right.
And of course, organic is better.
Sure.
But, I mean, when we were juice feasting, we did things with thick-skinned non-organic sometimes.
Right. Citrus was non-organic.
Oranges, grapefruit, pineapples we would sometimes do non-organic. And it's not ideal, but it's still wonderful to be juice feasting.
Right.
So.
Sure. All right.
Are nut milks okay?
Good question. And the answer is they're not prudent on a juice feast. And the reason is because when you take in nut milk on a juice feast, it's high in fat. And when you look at different healing protocols, whether what you're doing at Hippocrates Health Institute or what you're doing at the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center or even at Gerson Institute, others around the nation, most good healing protocols are low in fat so that your insulin resistance gets better, so that the sugars get to where they need to go more efficiently. So high fat doesn't really put you in a good cleansing physiology, and so the nut milk will do that. Also, drinking nut milk on a juice feast will cause you to develop mucus here and on down in your intestinal tract, in your colon, and you actually want to be on a mucusless diet. So nut milk doesn't do very well, and there is somebody who's using the juice feasting protocol or has adapted it and has used hemp seed milk, really diluted hemp milk. He's down in LA doing it, and that seems to be working okay, but I still don't advocate it. I don't advocate it.
It really depends on how much you want to cleanse too, and how quickly.
It will slow down the cleansing physiology significantly.
If I was to juice feast for a day right now while I'm breastfeeding, I would probably do nut milks in with the day.
Good point.
I haven't juice feasted while I'm breastfeeding because I don't feel like it's good for me to be cleansing while I'm nursing her. But perhaps, in a few months I may feel differently. And if I do decide to do that, I think I would add in some nice almond milk or sesame seed milk and with my juices, just to slow the cleanse down.
But as a standard practice, as a life practice, no, nut milks are not included on juice feasting. Nor are double cheeseburgers, if that question's on there.
Actually, the breastfeeding thing was somebody else's question. I'm breastfeeding my 7-month-old. Can I juice feast? So I guess you kind of touched that a bit there as well.
Yeah.
My feeling is that because toxins do get eliminated through the breast milk, I would prefer not to. I think it is a personal choice, though. We have a friend who juice fasted while she was breastfeeding her. I think her daughter was about 18 months old at the time. She actually juice fasted there at the tree. And it was fine, although she felt like her daughter didn't respond very well to it. She felt like her daughter got crankier and more upset easily, and it wasn't the most ideal situation. So I think it's a personal choice. But just educate yourself on what it actually means to cleanse.
Yeah.
Because you are putting toxins out into your system, and you are putting breast milk into your baby. So.
Yeah, and if I can add just a little aspect of this discussion, when you are pregnant, when you are breastfeeding, there's a fullness aspect that needs to be taken care of. So it's all about fullness, the fullness of pregnancy, the fullness of the breast, the fullness of the relationship with the child. Juice feasting is not so much about that kind of fullness, it's more about freedom. When you get into cleansing, it's much more about freedom than fullness, even though there's an abundance aspect to juice feasting because of the amount of juice that we're drinking and the superfoods and other things, but it's still more freedom than you really want to be involved with when you're taking care of a baby, particularly when you're breastfeeding. So, and it looks like Sophia may not be answering any more questions today, so I'm sorry for those of you who had some questions.
Do you want to ask one?
I really don't want to do the enemas colon cleansing while juice feasting. Is there a way around this?
Uh-oh.
Is there a way around it? You can try to juice feast without doing enemas or colonics or anything. What I can tell you is, if you do that, you'll cleanse about a third the speed. That's been my experience, as when you do the colon cleansing.
And you'll feel horrible.
And you'll feel like crap. So enjoy. And I don't mean to be rude by saying that. It's just, that's just the nature of the way it is. Your body is processing a lot more than normal. It goes down into the colon, and it's a lot of stuff. So to move that out gives the message to the rest of the body that it can continue to process and move things down to the colon to move it out. If the colon gets constipated on a juice feast, it will basically send a message to the rest of your physiology that, hold on, gang, not really time yet to let anything else go. And so you will start to feel stagnation. And in the Buddhist terminology, suffering is known as dukkha, and dukkha means a wheel that is stuck. So if you are stuck, you will suffer. So again, the freedom aspect of juice feasting, you want stuff to go ahead and move on out, unstick the wheel, so to speak. And so one of the practices we have on the juice feasting program is to do enemas and or colonics to keep that wheel unstuck.
Nice. We have time for like one more question.
Sweet.
I'd like to ask this one. I'm just starting out with a raw food lifestyle. Do you think it's a good idea if I start out with a juice feast?
Sure it is. I would be looking at a shorter juice feast. It's really important when you start out with juice feasting or raw food that you feel successful, that what you're doing establishes faith in what you're doing. Everybody starts out blogging when they do their first juice feast or when they get into raw food. It doesn't have to be a public thing. You can do it really privately, just for yourself, that you feel successful at whatever level it is that you're doing it at. So don't shoot for a 92-day juice feast right away. Try a day or a weekend or a week with somebody else that you trust and that can be there with you to do it. And do it, if it's only 3 days, but you're like, I did that 3 days really well, I enjoyed it, it felt like it was really supportive of me, that's something that I want to do again, that's the point. Raw food is a life practice. Juice feasting is a life practice. And we want to protect the integrity of those life practices. So it's important to feel like it is, like it's something that is supporting you, that you feel good about. It doesn't feel like it's a struggle. So make sure that you cultivate that by not overshooting what you're capable of. And I think Sophia's over there.
Oh, hey.
Having some food.
Thanks to everyone who sent their questions in for the Rainosheks as well. That was a quick fire little run through some possibilities around juice feasting, and David and Katrina have the juicefeasting.com website if you want to check out a whole lot more information. That website is packed with information about juice feasting. Is there anything else you guys wanted to share about the site or what you're up to at the moment? Or
what we're up to, I'm coaching group juice feast right now, one-on-one coaching, but in smaller groups. Really enjoying that, and where juice feasting is going now in my practice, as far as my coaching is, juice feasting is becoming backdrop for working on things that really matter. That your health is in service to the meaning of your own life, your unique self. What is your unique perspective? What it is that you're here to do. And so the juice feast serves as context for having that discussion and doing that kind of self-inquiry. And so that's where I'm going with the coaching and with juice feasting now. And that just opens up a whole field of opportunity and possibility that isn't there when you just focus on nutrition itself. So it's very exciting.
great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Great to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Absolutely. We've got,
Angela Stexmonic.
and we've got Mr.
David Rainoshek and Sophia Rainoshek.
Yeehaw! And Matt Monarch, and we'll see you again tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.